It's another edition of Checking In with Hein and Johnny, where the hosts bring in mystery topics that neither host knows anything about until the mics go hot and on the air. We are the show that keeps the host from talking about the weather and World War II 24 hours a day. Hey, Heine, man, what's on your mind?
What's happening, Johnny? I'm telling you, I gotta tell you, man, my people, they went after my gum line with a wire brush just to get the spinach out. It was terrible. I can't believe that am I bleeding from the mouth?
It feels like it though, right? It's all hanging and mangled.
Oh, it's brutal.
Yeah, the holidays taught me one thing, and it is that ham and turkey can get wedged up in there, and like a week later, you feel like someone has put a dead rat up in your gum, and then the trouble starts because they hack your mouth to get it out.
That's when you've got to go over to the Granger company and get that water pick with the 400 psi.
You have to have a home pressurized 220 volt air pressure gun to use it.
Fire up the generator.
Are you often? I mean, in your youth, were you many times at the dentist, or were you fairly clean as far as dental work?
Man, that is where I've been lucky again.
Nice.
Very little dental work. Mm-hmm.
Good for you.
My dad suffered with it, and so I kind of always looked like, is that my future? But man, I've been sailing clean.
Yeah.
Go to the dentist, man, yesterday I had to go in for my physical. And so, of course, can't we just talk about World War II and the weather? But no, it's the health problems. So I went in, and, you're going to get your blood work.
Sure.
So first thing in the morning, I get into work, and I slammed a giant donut just to get my blood sugar back up where it needs to be. Usually I go out and run a treadmill, run around the block, chase up and down the mountains, just so I can get my blood pressure low. So I said, well, today's the day they just pop me on all the little pills. Oh no, sailed through better than ever. Then your blood pressure is right in line. I'm like, really? It feels like my eyeballs are ready to pop out of my head.
My 2 pints of caffeinated beverage and my Texas donut. You got to do that on every single checkup, Hein.
Yeah, and it wasn't, usually I have like the glazed donut, which is a little lighter and fluffier. Yep. Oh no, this is the heavy chocolate cake with the, leftover frosting from the Hostess store piled on top. It's like, I typically don't do this, but I'm going all in.
You may as well.
Yeah.
You may as well. If they're going to put you on all the beta blockers, you may as well have fun getting there. May as well enjoy it.
So what's happening in your world, big boy?
Well, I don't know if you recall, but you wore a spectacular scarf during the holidays a couple of times. So I've been going to a Cambodian Maldives croissant store, and they sell these scarves, and then they give the money to expatriates from the Cantonese village of Issaquah, and then they take in the puppies from the hurricane. And no, this is just a pillowcase. But you just made me feel like crap. I was unrecognizable on the pod. People's comments, oh, Henry's so fashionable why are you such a piece of donut chunk all the time? So I'm spicing it up with a fake scarf today, hoping I've got the new year in hand.
Well, Johnny, looking at you,
Yes.
I see the great Waldo Pepper.
I've got real history written all over my hiney.
The great Waldo Pepper.
I thank you. You give me big compliments. Siri, my face recognition, I'm so, my face is melting towards the ground. My nipples and face are just slowly being dragged to the ground from gravity, that it no longer recognizes me for the Face ID. Like, I have to be up for an hour before my own phone will open for me because it decides that I'm so disgusting. It's can't see that I'm the real person. So I got that going for me.
Well, you're too high tech.
Oh, is that it?
Mm-hmm. I get up and for my cell phone and I just start turning the little crank on the side of it. And poof. There we go. Even if the power's out.
You're wise in the ways of science. Yes, and getting back to your dad and mom, my dad and mom were from in the dental arena. They were both from World War One, so they had their teeth were hanging on to. They had like Kleenex and a hanger that had wooden teeth from George Washington's mouth, and it was upsetting for all of us to see their mouths. In fact, I asked Mike, just like you, I'm like, is this the way it really goes? And the dentist is very encouraging back in the day. No, most people that are clean, they can keep their teeth. I'm like, oh, my parents are hillbillies. Was there a point in your life where you've decided, oh, so my mom and dad don't know everything? Was there a year that popped into your psyche?
Yeah, but it was so late in life, it was too late to make any positive.
Didn't make a difference.
No.
So you were.
No, they pretty much did know. They were pretty.
Yeah, they were
pretty on their
smart.
game for most everything.
Yeah.
A few little inconsistencies but hey, everybody's got
A few
that.
little is nothing. Yeah, considering the memoirs that we have about the emotional beatdowns that everybody in the world has with their families, you and I came out unscathed. We had like gold-plated, gorgeous childhoods.
You know what? In all seriousness, what our parents did that my kids looked at Chris and I and said, we have parents. We have a mom and a dad. And those two things, so many of their friends did not have that.
Oh.
And I think that my children recognized that
Early on.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I've got two of them, and they're chasing me around, and they're going to my games, and they're making me clean my room and all that crap. And that you and I, as we trashed our parents, didn't really appreciate that fact until now.
Right.
Until now, and I think my kids looked at it a lot earlier, to where because in New Mexico,
Nobody.
yeah,
No.
I think the family is crumbling under the wheels of the state.
Yeah, it's
hey,
hard now. It's
that's
super hard.
That's just me and my old guy attitude. So we probably ought to move off of that and get right back to
No, it was
the
a big
real.
difference. Now now knowing your mom and dad, straight as an arrow, I like to say. My mom and dad, you met my mom, you met Gerda, probably in our high school years. And I would like you to tell the story of the first time you met her on my porch, and she was.
Yes, I know what you're talking about, buddy. Yeah, so you go roll over to your friend's house
Please.
and you ring the doorbell, and this lady comes in. I say, "Is Johnny home?" And she picks up her hands, which are soaked in blood,
Placenta.
bloody, and she says, "Oh, I don't know where he is. I'm just delivering puppies. I'm delivering puppies." Like, what the hell? I didn't even have a moment to,
Process?
recognize her breast size.
Which was ample at that time.
She's there delivering puppies. I was like, man, it looks like it's a hard birth. Should I call 911? Caesar Milan, does he need to be over here?
No
because
need.
it looks
She's
like
a-
you're. I thought that the dogs, they just kind of popped out and the dogs kind of gobbled up the rest, cleaned them up, and let them go. But no, your mom's
no.
there looking like, I was like, are you really you just covering up for a murder?
She's got her hand in there. Pull. The sixth puppy is doing well.
Yeah. That was a little freaky, but fun, and set the stage for the rest of it. Like bumping into her at the store, and she was wearing a surgical mask long before they became fashionable.
No COVID. No COVID.
And then you said, "Oh, she just didn't have her teeth in."
We go back to the dental care. Yes, I believe back then the only dental hygiene that they had was let's swish and swallow. I've decided that's how hillbilly my parents should have been from West Virginia.
So, do you think Keith Richards has gone to implants? Because back in the day, you would see him smiling. I'm like, ugh. You just had a big salad or some eggs Florentine, and you're wearing it in your mouth, and now all of a sudden it's like you're this really old. Oh, but yes, grinning
Veneers have
grinning like
changed
Dash
the world.
Riprock.
Yeah, there is a black and white one that you and I know well, where Keith is missing a tooth, and he's got like spaghetti in front of, just hanging out, and he's happy with it. He's got no problem. He's from England.
But that's the Keith look that I worshipped. And when I looked at that photo, I said, I want to look like that dude.
Oh, yeah,
Ambiguously out to lunch, yet master of music and the guitar.
yeah, and the rock and roll lifestyle. The dude lived it. Three
did.
chords and the truth.
Drugs aren't for everyone, but personally, I can handle them.
He said in his book that the only way he made it out alive through all that drug use is that the dude that gave him the drugs dispensed them in perfect amounts and had expensive drugs. So he was able to wean himself off. So I learned a lot about Keith in that book. It was a lot of fun. I loved it. And
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't ever try and look like him. You looked like, once you got the perm, you
Did
looked
not.
like you did, because
Didn't
there
look
was
at
a
all like
time
Keith.
there was a time when Keith was had a perm. I mean, his hair was out rather than straight. And so during that time period, it was a good match.
Johnny,
Yes.
don't ever mention on this show again that I got a perm. I'll quit.
I'm
Don't
so
ever
sorry.
say, Henry, oh, I remember your luscious perm.
Chris
I never
is
got
going
a
to have to
perm.
remind you, since you don't watch this pod ever, you and your sister hate the pod, Chris is going to remind you that you have revealed that already, and it's a top 5 in views. People loved your story about going to the salon. So I'm sorry, brother. One of the things you've already emoted is about your salon experience, and they dig it. They dig it. Everybody loves it.
Oh, yeah, more bad news, Johnny.
What?
My sister started listening to the pod.
My nemesis?
Yes. Yeah, she said, oh, now that the election's over, I have nothing to watch, so I've started to watch your pod.
She's
like,
one of those.
Wow.
We're in trouble.
Get your stock charts. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, probably.
get ready.
Yeah.
Get ready. Here goes. I am so sorry for all of the rude things I've been saying about you. You're not really my nemesis. That was just pod talk.
Well,
Did that do it? Was that enough? Or
now,
am I still a dick?
she's really still going to be, a target until she comes clean and announces one Keith Richards song that she likes. You got the silver, you got the gold. He really sounds like a Bob Dylan, a master poet. Bob Dylan.
Do you think she's going to be able to do that? At this point, that is the Grand Canyon size riff between me and my nemesis. And can she come clean? Is it possible?
Epiphany is just around the corner, and
Okay.
you've
Is that a
got
pillow
Ash
or a
Wednesday,
pound?
and
Oh,
It's a
I'm
holiday.
sorry. It
Now
was
that-
something religious. Sorry, my fault. Something.
now that we're struggling to talk about something other than the holidays, which I still love to talk about.
Struggling. What?
There's Valentine's Day,
Our Valentine's special is coming up.
so hey, you never know. You never know.
Well, so she remains my nemesis. So I will edit out all of that apologies. I'll show that apologies whenever my family watches and whenever your family watches, because I say a lot of rude stuff. So I'll save that.
Speaking about rude talk, have you seen the new Jaguar ad?
No, I saw the pink Barbie car, but I didn't see the ad for it.
The ad. Oh, you're missing out. It's all over the news. In fact, it's probably been beaten to death. But here goes.
Here goes.
Jaguar in the good old days was, such a, English company. People who drove Jaguars had really woody names like Sterling Moss and
No, you
Duncan Hamilton and Reg Parnell, Les Leston. But they really haven't done anything super cool since the E-Type, and they've always just been a little bit of behind the times. So they have come up with this new ad. They redid their logo. They stopped supporting the Jaguar Club of North America because they're erasing their history and moving forward, and decided to do it with a new version ad where they've come up with a post-China virus collection of the Fruit of the Loom guys who pop out ambiguously in a blender of gender fluidity and are standing around, and it just says Jaguar, and they're making faces wearing their, I've heard them described as Teletubbies.
Teletubbies.
And it just says Jaguar. There's no car. I don't know what the car looks like. Is there a new car? They said they're going all electric. Maybe, maybe not. I don't think that's a good idea. But their ad could be the Bud Light moment for Jaguar.
Jaguar.
Did you ever see, I think Subarus, do you have I hope you don't have a Subaru. Well, maybe if you do, this will be the end of it.
Okay. So Henry, before you go on, I am neither a camper or a lesbian. Do I own a Subaru?
So
Just saying.
Did you see the Subaru ad? It was classic, and it was only on the TV a couple of times, maybe a few years ago. And it shows this kind of perhaps granola crunching couple driving down the road. This pretty girl, they're listening to some song, probably something by Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young or something. And as they drive through the countryside, suddenly the girl imagines that she is in the boxcar of the passing train. It's like, really? Is the Subaru that bad and your douchey boyfriend so terrible that you wish you were hoboing it over there in the train? I'd rather be surfing the stockyards of America, pass the paper bag that holds the bottle, than riding in this POS Subaru with Mr. Clean here.
Clean? The dude hasn't bathed in a month from what I've seen of Subaru owners. Hello. Fortune Feimster, one of my favorite lesbians on the earth. Oh my goodness, her new Netflix stand-up special is spectacularly funny. And she's on tour. She is also on another podcast, a podcast that's supremely more popular than ours.
How
called
can that
Hansel.
be true?
What?
Hansel?
What do you speak of? With Tig Notaro, and she is so funny. So Eye Candy today is definitely Fortune Feimster's Netflix special. Really, really super funny. She talks about these crazy, hilarious situations with her spouse and her going to countries for their honeymoon. Very exciting. It sounds really good. Trouble is, it's illegal to be gay there. So they spend an entire home honeymoon pretending like they're just good buddy cousins. It is really, really
Kissing
entertaining.
cousins.
And the person that meets them at the airport says, "Oh no, it's serious. They will put you in jail for being gay."
That's
so
when you pick when your honeymoon spot is Tehran.
they should. It is so funny, and I mean, I've never even considered it or never thought about it. And this is it's a great bit that she has. So everybody should watch this. Fortune Feimster, she has 3 specials, and this one is fantastic. And I will say, she's sporting a spectacular pink suit in the handsome style from their podcast. Really dynamite, super fun. Anything that we missed about things that we needed to review of the past year? 72 million streams of all these rappers that you talked about, Glorilla and the other gal that's you really like, Olivia Rodrigo, who stole a song from Elvis Costello, and he did not sue her. Did not. He did not approve it. He didn't approve it, but he also didn't sue her. He said he did not. I guess a lot of classic rock folks, they get sampled, their stuff gets sampled, and they throw them on the credits. And she didn't think of that, I guess. It's kind of a big deal, because like a sweet riff that people love, and then they rap over the top of it, and it becomes a massive hit. One thing that you really should also watch is the HBO documentary about yacht rock.
Oh, really?
So engaging. Yeah. Oh my gosh. The California sound. Kenny Loggins, Michael McDonald, Steely Dan. It's a full-on documentary about that time period. That was kind of that little groove before punk rock, and after the Stones and the Beatles were massive. So it's kind of an envelope, and that music is extremely popular now, like full-on culture of yacht rock. And that documentary is dynamite, really takes you back. And it's fun to hear all those folks, those guys from Toto, guys that created all these massive hits, and it was all smooth. It was basically Stevie Wonder, George Benson, but then white guys did it. And that's always what happens. We love it when white people take great songs like the Stones did and then sell a whole bunch of millions of copies by copying that style. So another good one for ear candy.
Have I ever mentioned the comic who took Kenny Loggins' book and that was his act? He just read Kenny Loggins' book and
No.
you laughed at it. I don't know what
about this.
Oh, Kenny Loggins wrote a book, and it's all about, well, and then I was on Top Gun, and I wrote another fabulous song about, and this comic was just reading the book, straight up. You don't need to get the book on Audible, you just need to go see his act. Probably should be Googling that one up.
I love it. Renowned singer. It's called Still All Right. No, I'd never even heard of it. Well, he's in the yacht rock thing. Not a lot, but he's part of that. So,
I liked the Kenny Loggins and Messina thing.
Oh, yeah.
I think all of the stuff that really made him famous and huge, I prefer to just turn on a drill or grind on some steel than listen to that.
This movie soundtracks that he was like the movie soundtrack guy for 10 years. I mean, literally.
Footloose, all the Top Gun stuff. Everybody loves Top Gun. Chris loves Top Gun.
Everybody loves Top Gun.
No, I don't love Top Gun.
Did you ever want to be a pilot?
I'm cheering for a Russian pilot sneaking up behind Maverick and Ice Goose and whamming them with a couple of missiles. Yeah. You talking about cheering for the bad guys? Ugh.
You are. I think you're a very select group of people, Henry. You represent a very small sliver.
Oh no, they're out there. They're out there. All the Top Gun trivia is so great. Who did they offer the job to? They offered it to, I think, Scott Baio.
Oh,
and he turned it down. He turned it down. Everybody was turning it down. Val Kilmer did not want to do it, but he had a contract that said he had to do whatever his agent signed him up for, so they signed him up for it.
He's a good bad guy.
I'll be your wingman anytime, Maverick.
You must not have watched the second one because only Chris watched the second one. Top
Oh no,
Maverick.
we were first in line to see that.
Oh, so you
First
saw
in
that
line.
making Val Kilmer talk. They gave him AI speech because he can't talk. The dude's ravaged with cancer.
Yeah,
So the
sad.
words he speaks in that second movie are completely AI, which unbelievable. It's amazing because the dude, of course, has no voice at all.
That's he lived in Santa Fe, I think. I love so the movies that the whole, I'm just too technical about. I can't put aside my imagination. The reality when I'm watching Maverick, it's like, they're going to take out the Chinese base with a missile. Nobody's flying their planes in. The planes that fly at 850 miles an hour when you bail out of them, you both get shot down and bail out of them. You know, you're within a short jog of each other. You're not 50 miles away from each other that would take you 2 days to hike over to where you can steal the F-15 from the Checkups and fly back and blow up and save the world. Ronald Reagan made better movies.
Bert Convy made better movies.
But there it is. You know, it's what do I have to argue? You know, with the populace that enjoys this stuff. Now, I'm a big fan of Tombstone and Val Kilmer and that. You know, which that's another flight of fantasy. But
So
I can buy into
though.
that.
His tuberculosis ravaged, thin, he's just coughing and spitting up. And he's just murdering people right and left. Yeah, he's so good in Tombstone. That's got to be top 3, you know, of his movies. He's so good in that. In fact, that might be my favorite Val Kilmer part. That he was really, really stunning in that, dying of TB.
Yeah, it's definitely mine. It's also, I love like The Natural, where Robert Redford's out there swinging the Savoy Special towards the outfield, but all the while he's his ulcer is starting to bleed through his jersey. It's like, man, that's an aggressive cancer.
Yeah, one problem with anything medical in TV shows or movies, if you've had anybody that has anything to do with actual medical training, you can't watch them ever again. Florence, my sister, you know, longtime nurse, I just leached information from her through the years, and now I can't watch any medical show because I'm like, no, that's the Russians would kill you. That's impossible. You can't. They would shoot you down. I cannot get into all of the and there's like 17 medical shows. Oh my gosh. And they're so popular. Oh, Grey's Anatomy, 50 years. It went so long that the gray went white. She just lost all of the gray and went white. She's that old. And now they have Dr. Lounge Singer on the cruise. What? What? He's going to lose a toe. No. He was on the he stepped on coral. He could lose a leg. Oh. No thanks.
I spend enough time in hospitals in real life. Last thing I do is watch it on TV. Maybe Marcus Welby.
Well, that was Josh Brolin's dad was Dr. Somebody on that. Mr. Handsome.
No, I could never even remember who that guy was.
Mr. Barbra Streisand. That's the guy that was on Marcus Welby. He was like the young hunk with Marcus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I did have one thing. Kind of, you know, we're kind of in a year in review still. Everybody's still got the Oscars and Emmys. Everybody's given awards for 2024. There's a mathematical surprise that Spotify told us about. And I think maybe it's like butter knifing some facts, but it was hard to believe that our podcast, I guess ours is considered a video podcast, we were the top 30% of video podcasts for 2024.
That's all?
What? We weren't number one? What? The
I'm
Joe
gonna have
Rogan
to.
experience?
I'm gonna have to
wasn't
double
true?
down on eye makeup for this thing. I'm gonna go spend some dough getting this all worked out.
We got to get up. You're glam. Yeah, we got to. Our New Year's resolution we didn't talk about. We got to get new glam. I did try new glam, not in the glam way. I tried new lighting, and I noticed it's the only thing it did was open. It shows these huge bags more. So I'm going back to the 2024 top 30% Spotify lighting because it just shows that I'm melting more. I'm, more disgusting than I was before.
My New Year's resolution that I'm working on hard is I'm going to eat more broasted chicken because it's good for the pores and the skin through the magical process of broasting. Broasting.
Pray tell me, Heine man, what's the difference between? Is it the difference between breakfast and lunch? The brunch thing?
You've never had
mimosas? Do you
you've
put
never
mimosas
had
on the chicken?
You've never had broasted chicken?
Maybe I have, and I don't know the difference.
You're gonna need to try a new supper club.
Supper
Oh
club.
yeah.
with my new pillowcase scarf, we're gonna go to the supper club.
Maybe you wanna head out to Jim and Linda's right there on the shores of Lake Winnebago and try their broasted chicken.
So
or the perch fish fry.
What's the difference between broasted and roasted? I have no idea.
Roasted chicken is where they take a chicken and delicately heat it and cook it over an over a
like
over
Costco and Sam's Club.
I think
They
those
spin
are
it?
roasted.
Those
Yes.
are roasted?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Broasted is a completely different process
What's the
while
difference
using
between broasted and
Broasted.
roasted? We're going to
Well,
find out.
You're going to get an artificial answer from your so-called intelligence.
Those Ruskies, the commies, are going to tell us what it is. So here we go.
Here we go. Let's hear.
Let's hear. Seems like you're asking roasted, cooking food over an oven or an open flame. That's roasted. I think you said
Perfect.
that.
I got that.
Roasted, it doesn't know. That's no idea.
Oh yeah, that's because it's a secret. It's a secret.
Oh yeah, we were outside and we did the broasting thing, but we can't tell you what the broasting is.
It's
No way.
kept under the lid all the way from Brainerd all the way over to Milwaukee.
Minnetonka.
Although on this big sign right outside of Albuquerque heading east on I-40, it talks about some truck stop that's featuring broasted chicken. But to answer your question,
What did I
think
ask?
the
one?
secret.
Oh no, I did
I think
ask.
our listeners want to know what broasted
They do.
is.
No, they want to know the
Those
difference.
who don't know, it's like high pressure deep fried. So they deep fry it in a pressurized vessel, which I think is what the Colonel does. And that's how they are able to put out the chicken. His magic was to cook the chicken in less than 8 minutes and then throw it out for you with his special recipe of 11 herbs and spices,
Okay.
which secretly I love. And I think that's technically, theirs is broasted. There's deep fried,
Which is
there's
all oil.
roasted, and then there's broasted.
And broasted is in a pressure
Broasted.
cooker.
I think so.
Well, now I want some broasted chicken and taters. Get me some
No,
taters.
your heart can't handle it, bro.
That is true.
Be careful.
Don't
All
worry.
right.
Be careful of what you wish for in the new year. You guys have a great week. See ya, Heine. Thanks for listening to Checking In with Hein and Johnny. You can follow all things Hein and Johnny by subscribing to Checking In with Hein and Johnny anywhere you listen to podcasts. Checking In with Heine and Johnny is sponsored by Conveyors and Equipment. They supply, design, and service all types of conveyors, belting, and material handling equipment since 1972. With 3 locations to serve you, Salt Lake City, Albuquerque, and El Paso. Find them on the web at conveyequip.com. That's ConveyeEquuip.com.